Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sherry and I create content about infertility and lifestyle. I'd love for you to subscribe and be a part of my community, so make sure that you click the notification bell to stay on top of all of my newest content, and make sure you're subscribed, and also check me out on Instagram. I know it's been a while since I've been back with an update. I've just been taking some time mentally to kind of just decompress and process everything that's been going on with us with our last embryo transfer. So unfortunately our last transfer failed, and we're kind of just trying to figure out what our next steps are right now. So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that and just give you a little bit more details about the process and just how to try to stay mentally sane during times like this. There's so much going on in the world right now with all the shootings and everything going on, and just life in general, outside of that. Adding anything extra to it, like stress of, IVF can be a lot sometimes. So, yeah, I've just been trying to do a lot of self-care. I just need to take a break from social media for a while in terms of making any videos or releasing any content. But I'm feeling much better now about everything, and I'm in a good place. Talashi and I are in a good place to kind of figure out what our next steps are. We don't know what that is yet, but I just wanted to update you on the frozen embryo transfer. So our transfer was back in April. We transferred 2 day 3 embryos, and they were, the grades were 3-7 and a 3-6. So at day 3, they rate them 1 to 3 in terms of, that's the first numbers, 3 being the best that they could be at that day and 1 being the least, like the fairest. And then the second number stands for the number of cells. So on day 3, they like to see at least 6 cells. So we had a 3-7 and a 3-6. So those were our best graded embryos. The other embryos we have left are graded a 2-8 and a 1-8. So that's what we have left right now to pick from. And we're just trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So I did talk to my doctor, and he really wants me to have my fibroids removed. But my OBGYN here in Florida and back in Atlanta didn't feel that it was necessary because my fibroids are on the outside of my uterus. So nothing inside the cavity where the embryo would actually implant. But there's also concern about, the fibroids maybe taking too much blood supply from where the embryo would try to implant and all those things. So I did go and have an MRI done to get a better look at my fibroids. And I thought I had 3, but that was only through ultrasound. But turns out that I actually have 5. They're very small. The largest one is about 4 centimeters, I think. And so if I did remove them, I would automatically need to have a C-section because any, cutting you have to do or, rupture they don't want you to rupture during a vaginal birth. And I've heard mixed things about that. I know that there are some people that have had a C-section with one baby and then they're able to have a vaginal birth with the next baby. But I think in the case of fibroids, it might be a little bit different because of, the cutting that they have to do on the uterus itself. So I did have a consultation with one doctor about that. The other downside of having the surgery is that I'd have to wait 3 months to heal before I could do another frozen embryo transfer. And, I don't know. If this had been my, 3rd transfer or I had a miscarriage, I think I would be more open to doing that. But because we have day 3 embryos, we don't even know if they fully developed enough to actually even implant. If I had a chemical pregnancy or something like that, then I would be a little bit more open to that right now. But it was only my first time transferring an embryo, and we just don't know what the cause was. So I think we're just gonna pause on any type of surgery right now, and then figure that out maybe later. Also because it means time off of work and all those things, and we have a lot going on in the next couple weeks, so I can't really afford to be down because of surgery, really over the summer at all. So that would be something that I would have to consider maybe in the fall. So we have some other options of transferring what we have left, just going ahead and figuring that out. I could do another egg retrieval. but it's just so much on my body emotionally and physically. And then also, like, if we do another transfer and that doesn't work, then at age 42, I just don't know if continuing to try with, my own eggs is really like reasonable. Like at this point, I just want to be a mom. So there are other options. Like you can use donor eggs, you can use donor embryos, things like that. I think at this point, I just need to get like a healthy egg. Because as you get older, you have less quality eggs. So, I know that, but yeah, we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do next. But I want to talk a little bit now about mental health. Because I felt like I was prepared, for good or bad news. But I just wasn't prepared for bad news. And you have to give yourself like time to grieve. I think sometimes like I can be such a planner and I can try to plan how I'm going to feel and I know I'll be okay, I'll bounce back. But like your body and your heart and your mind sometimes are not on the same page. And, it was sad for me. Because at the same time, it was literally the day after Mother's Day that I found out. And Mother's Day was already like a little more nerve-wracking for me this year, just because I knew that we were in our 2-week wait and just waiting to see what was going to happen with our embryos. So it was that much harder because of course there's all the Mother's Day posts, all the pregnancy announcements, and people are getting pregnant left and right without having to go through IVF, or just seems easier for everyone. And I know that's not always the case because you really don't know how long it's taken someone to get to the point of pregnancy. But I just had to shut everything off for a little while, take a break from Instagram, take a little bit of break even from some of the Facebook groups that I'm in. Because sometimes when you're trying to process how you feel, everyone wants to give you like unsolicited feedback. And I appreciate it most times, but I was just kind of in a place where I just didn't really want to hear too many opinions about like what I should do next or where I was or all those things. And I'm glad that I kind of took a break because you can really like, hurt your own feelings. You can hurt someone else's feelings if you're not in a good place and you try to have like tough conversations. So I also realized that I needed support like outside of friends and family. And I had a great therapist in Atlanta, but since we moved here to Florida, I can't see her anymore because she's not licensed here. And I didn't have a therapist in Florida yet. I did reach out to my therapist in Atlanta and asked her for a referral for someone here. And she referred me to someone, and she has been amazing, just as good as if my therapist in Atlanta. And I just want to emphasize the importance of therapy, especially through something like this. IVF and infertility in general is such a stress and anxiety inducing activity that you need to have your tribe set up sometimes before you're even going through the problems, because it's just nice to be able to like pick up the phone, send an email and say, hey, I need help. And that helped me a lot, also just trying to figure out my options. I had so many decisions to make, like, do I have a fibroid surgery? Do we do another transfer? Do we look into like, alternative methods or anything? And I just felt very overwhelmed by decision making. And that was hard. And one of my good friends that I've met through infertility, she always says to me, just try to make decisions that bring you the most peace. And I really appreciate that. Because sometimes we want to make tough decisions. And sometimes decisions are not always the most peace provoking, but I think it's a great place to start in terms of knowing what you should do next. So that helped a lot. Of course, talking to Talashi helped a lot. We had some, very important conversations about like, I had to also learn like what I need to ask him for in terms of support. Like sometimes I can get frustrated because I'm making so many decisions and I'm like, well, why am I making all these decisions? And I need help, blah, blah, blah. But if I don't communicate that to him effectively, he won't know where to pick up and help me. And you think sometimes that people should just know, or husbands should just know what to do. And, they don't have our brains. We're very tied and closely connected, but they're not our clones. So they have to be able to know where that we need help. So there's a few things that we did, like, you know, now we subscribe to Green Chef for meals because I just kind of got tired of like having to figure out what we're going to eat every week. And also we're trying to do keto as much as possible. So Green Chef, this is not sponsored by Green Chef, by the way. But Green Chef to me has the best keto options that I've tried so far for dinner. So we subscribe to that. That has taken like a ton of weight off of my shoulders in terms of like figuring out what we're gonna eat every day. So that's been great as well. And then also I've done a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer. So for meditation, I use an app called Expectful. I'll link it below in the description for you. But they have their meditations and like bedtime stories are geared towards women who are going through pregnancy, infertility, IVF specifically. There are meditations specifically for like your 2-week wait and all that kind of stuff. And it's helped so much. You can do them in like 5 minutes to 20-minute increments, I think, like increments of 5 up to 20 minutes or so. And that's been awesome. My therapist in Atlanta referred me to use that app. I would check that out if you need like a meditation app specifically geared towards pregnancy and infertility. And then in terms of prayer, you know, just praying daily, you know, watching church, you know, I still go to my church in Atlanta, so I watch online. But I also like to listen to Joel Osteen every morning, his podcast, because the messages are very short and straight to the point. You don't have to listen to Joel, but if there's someone else spiritually that you're connected to, or if you can find like a podcast that is more spiritually inclined than just your regular, like, you know, information or technology related thing, or infertility even, something that is going to keep you rejuvenated spiritually is very important. So I listen to Joel on my morning walks with the dogs, and it just gets me in the right place, you know? So those are some of the things that I did. The thing I love about my therapist now and my therapist in Atlanta is they give me homework to do. So we do homework on, you know, like ways to reduce like anxiety and stress, like, you know, actual like cognitive exercises on like, okay, so you had this event, how did you react to it? You write that down. And then you have to think about, well, what would have been a better way to react to that event? And you do that over and over and over for a number of events. And eventually you start thinking about that when you're in the moment of like a stressful time. So that has been very helpful for me. You know, I am still very hopeful for us, you know, have not given up. I'm still here. So, you know, I'm excited for our future, and we have a lot of fun things coming up with like family, you know, family reunions. I have some girlfriend trips coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. And I think you have to just always just try to find a way to find something positive to hold on to and build from that. You know, if you have one positive thing, grab that, because you'll be able to build on that. But yeah, we're still hopeful. And, you know, I want to continue to be a support for you guys, and I hope that sharing my experiences will do that for you. Thank you to everyone who's reached out to me and checked in on me on DMs and Instagram, because you saw that I wasn't posting a lot. I really do appreciate that. It means so much that you're thinking of me and checking on us and praying for us as well, most importantly. Yeah, we're just staying encouraged and positive, and just try not to let anything stressful like derail us right now, you know. And you have to like silence a lot of the noise around you sometimes, no matter who it is, and just to make your mind clear to be able to focus on this huge goal that you have in front of you. And literally stress can be just as problematic as like disease, so just keep all the stress away from you. That's what I'm trying to do. Also trying to do some more exercising and get my body moving more, because I also realized that I put on like a little bit of weight from being on these hormones for so long, and your body just needs a break, you know, and just needs to kind of like detox and get your blood pumping and stuff. So I'm gonna try to do some exercise. You know, I'm trying to do more like daily vlog things, because I don't just want to talk about infertility. But I know that that's such an important topic, but there's so much that goes into it besides just going through the treatment. We have to take care of our bodies. We have to exercise. We have to eat right. We have to spend time with our loved ones. We have to spend time with, friends, spend time with my dogs. And, just there's other things that I like to do as well that are a part of my life, in, not just infertility. So maybe I'll start trying to capture some of that content for you guys so you can have more of like a day in the life thing, so that when I have these breaks, I can maybe focus on other content, and not just completely go ghost or missing on you guys. But thank you again for keeping me encouraged, and I hope you're encouraged as well. And thank you for supporting us. I hope you stay blessed, and please stay tuned for more updates. I will be back with more updates as our plans, progress. I probably, I like to film things kind of after they happen. That's why, you can get my full experience on how it went, how I'm doing. But I'll try to, put in some other content when there are breaks with the infertility stuff. So thank you again, and I hope to see you next week on the Voices app. All right, and make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification, and just keep in touch, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, we'll just go from there. But it's nice talking to you guys again after so long. I'm sorry, but I will talk to you soon. Bye.